Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey. Welcome into Duckbait TV as we are just a few moments away from getting things started in our second game of the evening as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers get ready to face the Lafayette Lady Lancers out of Wildwood, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. So this is actually the third straight season that Fort Scott and Lafayette have met in this tournament. They have, as I mentioned, the last 2 years met 2 years ago. Back in 2023, Fort Scott's Lady Tigers won 62-19. Last season, Fort Scott won 56-30, and so we'll see what Lafayette can do here tonight against the Lady Raiders, who are coming off their first loss of the season. A tough game in Coffeyville last Friday evening, so the Lady Tigers have had to stew on that for about 5 days, and they are, I'm sure, ready to go here tonight against Lafayette, who, again, they are a 5A school, Class 6 school in Missouri. So they are one of the bigger schools. They don't have a great record, 7-6, but Coach Greg Herdlicka, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but he is got the Lancers over 500 coming into this one this year. The last 2 seasons have really been down for the Lady Lancers. They were just 10-44 over the last 2 seasons, 6-21 last year, 4-23 2 seasons ago. But of course, as I mentioned, 7-6 coming into this one. They are much better, have a much better record at this point this year. And we mentioned Fort Scott. They come in at 7-1 overall, and coming off their first loss of the season last Friday night, and their first loss to Coffeyville in a handful of years. So I'm sure that Coach Bashan Steps has got his Lady Tigers ready to go here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the brackets really quickly as we'll flash the girls bracket up there for you first. As the Lady Tigers, you see there, if they win, they will play at 7 o'clock tomorrow night in the new gym, which is not where we're at tonight. We're in the old gym this evening. If the Fort Scott Lady Tigers lose to Lafayette this evening, they will play at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in the old gym against Nevada. They'll play Colgan in the new gym at 7. If they win, they'll play Nevada in the old gym at 4 if they lose here tonight. And if they can win and play Colgan, it'll set up an interesting situation for tomorrow. And I don't know if we're going to get a national anthem here in a minute, so we'll tell you about that in a second. As I believe they've done the national anthem before every game over here in the old gym today.
USD 249's administration and coaching staff, I would like to welcome you to the campus of Frontenac High School for our 2025 Raider Classic basketball tournament. We would also like to welcome our guests from Wildwood, Missouri, and Fort Scott, Kansas, in tonight's matchup as the Lafayette Lancers take on the Fort Scott Tigers. Now let's meet the starters for both teams in alternating fashion. First up, the visiting Lancers. Sophomore, number 0, Maria Golfo.
So it looks like no anthem tonight
Junior, number 2, Abby Gorman.
For this game. Now, I mentioned they did it before the boys' game, and they did it before the Colgan boys' game, which preceded this game directly. Looks like
For the Tigers, senior, number 10, Allie Brown.
Fort Scott is going to go with the
For the Lancers, senior, number 11, Taylor Daniel.
normal starting lineup here. Get everybody marked in my scorebook, and then we'll tell you
For the Tigers,
who's going for the Tigers. As I mentioned, the head coach, Bashan Steps, 7-1 overall this season, trying to make a return trip to the state tournament. Went to state last year and finished 4th, and looking to hopefully do the same thing or maybe even finish a little bit better this year if they can do that. Fort Scott will go with 5'6" junior Abby Gorman, 5'5" senior Allie Brown, 5'9" junior Claire McElroy, 6' senior Kylie Comstock, and 5'9" junior J.C. Rogers. And for Lafayette, they'll go with 5'9" sophomore Maria Golfo, 5'4" sophomore Lila Kimberlin, 5'11" senior Taylor Nanya, and 5'7" senior Mary Hales, and 5'8" junior Faith Zukalski. And as we mentioned, their head coach is Greg Herdlicka. And again, I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. We're just about ready to get things going here tonight. The Lady Lancers in their road black uniforms with the gold letters and numbers, gold and white trim. Fort Scott, of course, in their home white uniforms with the red letters and numbers, red and black trim. And we're underway as Fort Scott gets the opening tip here tonight. We go to Gorman left side, and inside now back outside to Gorman. She'll put one up. It's in and out, but back in. So Abby Gorman gets the first points of the game tonight. Hales brings it up the floor. Now they get it to Nania. Long three there, doesn't go. Putback is no good, but a foul on Fort Scott. And they're going to give that one to J.C. Rogers, her first. Team's first. First free throw is no good. I believe this is Mary Hales at the line. Second free throw on the way, and that one is good. So 1 of 2 there for Hales, and we've got a 1-point ball game. Allie Brown brings it up the court for the Lady Tigers. It looks like some pressure defense from the Lancers here. And we got a whistle, and it looks like a foul going to be called. So Taylor Nania picks up the foul there. First one on Lafayette here this evening. Drive to the bucket. Now they kick it back out. Rogers with a long 2 there. That one doesn't go. Misses on the backside. Rebound comes down to Comstock, and the putback is no good there. Rebound Lancers. Kick it out to Golfo. She brings it across the timeline with that 2-3 zone defense from the Lady Tigers. Pass goes inside. A little scoop layup. That one goes for Nania. And that'll give the Lancers their first lead of the night, 3-2. Rogers brings it up the floor. Actually, that's McElroy. My apologies. And now the ball loose. It goes out of bounds. And last touched by Lafayette. Excuse me, last touch by Fort Scott. It's Lafayette basketball. 6:34 left to go in the first quarter. Fort Scott with some full court press here. Lafayette able to break that press. They get it down the floor. Now they get it over to Zukalski. Three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go. Rebound on the backside by Fort Scott. Out to Gorman. She'll bring it up the court for the Lady Tigers. Over to Brown. Now back to Gorman. Three-pointer on the way. That one is no good. Gorman went in there for the rebound, but had it knocked out of her hands, and the Lancers will come away with it. Golfo brings it up the floor this time. Now they get it over to Kimberlin. Kimberlin back to Golfo on the left side wing. Into the lane, a little scoop shot again. That one doesn't go this time. Rebound, Kylie Comstock. And Kylie Comstock has had 3 double-doubles in her last 4 games for the Lady Tigers, including 15 points and 13 rebounds at Coffeyville last Friday. And at the 4th of those 4, she had 17 and 9 against Frontenac the Tuesday after Christmas break. So Kylie has really been cleaning up the boards quite a bit for the Lady Tigers here of recent. For Fort Scott, three-pointer doesn't go. Rebound, Lady Tigers. They'll head back the other direction. Gorman gets it up the floor. Now to McElroy. McElroy gets it into the lane. Back out to Comstock. She can shoot it from out there too, but misses. Rebound, Fort Scott out to Brown. 10-footer from the baseline. That one doesn't go. McElroy skies for the rebound. Tries to put one up. Didn't get it. Now the ball is loose on the floor. Still loose on the floor. Finally picked up there by Gorman. She'll come back into the lane for the Fort Scott Tigers. Now back around it comes. Out to Brown. She'll drive in, 15-footer. That one blocked, but goes right to a teammate. Shot there from Gorman, goes. Abby Gorman, she struggled on Friday against the Coffeyville Lady NATO, but she's got all 4 Tiger points now as they lead at 4-3 with 4:20 to play in the first quarter. Drive to the bucket by Golfo. Now they kick it back out. 3-pointer on the way, and that one goes for Zukalski. And Fort Scott's going to take a timeout. An early timeout taken by head coach Pashan Steps. So 6-4 with 4:09 to play here in the first quarter. Again, the Fort Scott Lady Tigers a win, and they will play St. Mary's Colgan tomorrow night in the new gym. If Lafayette wins, they will play Colgan, and Fort Scott will play Nevada at 4 o'clock here in the old gym tomorrow afternoon. Fort Scott, if they can win this game and play Colgan, it'll be an interesting situation because the Fort Scott and Colgan girls will play at 7 o'clock in the new gym tomorrow. Again, if Fort Scott can get the win here tonight. Then the boys' game, and this game's already set because Colgan's boys just lost right before this game to Fair Grove out of Missouri. Colgan and Fort Scott's boys will play, and again, that one is already set in stone at 8:30 tomorrow night here in the old gym. So kind of an interesting situation that could happen if Fort Scott can pull off the win here tonight against Lafayette. Here's play. Oh, they get it to Rayleigh Cowan, who's just checked in. 3-pointer now by Gorman. That one is good. Rayleigh Cowan hits that 3-pointer. She has struggled of late from beyond the arc, but hits that one there, and that'll give Fort Scott the 1-point lead back. So 5'6" junior Rayleigh Cowan is on the floor for Fort Scott. They also have 5'8" junior Aubrey Yorick out there now, with Comstock, Rogers, and Gorman. 5 on the floor in white for the Lady Tigers right now. Looks like it's a couple of subs for Lafayette as well, as Isabel Herdlicka, 5'7" sophomore, has the ball right now. Now she'll pass it off to Golfo. Looks like they also have Anika Kavizik in the game. She's a 5'8" junior. Here's a 3-pointer on the way from Lafayette. That one doesn't go, but the rebound chased down by Golfo. She'll get into the lane. Now we got a whistle, and it looks like a foul on Fort Scott. So Abby Gorman picks up her first foul. Second foul on the Lady Tigers. Again, those fouls will reset at the end of each quarter. New rule in place in Kansas. I believe last year was the first year they started doing that. Very similar to the NCAA women's rule and the NBA. No 1-and-1 anymore in Kansas in high school basketball. I think most states around us are doing the same thing. Here's a 3-pointer on the way, and that one is no good, but a foul on the rebound, and this is going to go on Lafayette.
Fouls on the Lancers, number 1, Lila Kimberly. And for the Lancers, number 4, Kelly Archambault.
5'6" sophomore Kelly Archambault comes in for Lafayette there. And now a Fort Scott turnover, so it'll go back over to Lafayette with 2:31 to play in the first quarter. Fort Scott leading by 1. Lafayette with the basketball. Pass goes inside, now back into the corner. 3-pointer from Nania. That one does not go. Rebound chased down by Comstock. Another rebound for Kylie Comstock. I don't keep up with the rebounds live. I do that afterwards, and I'm not sure. I think that's at least 2 for Kylie. But again, she has really been cleaning up the backboards of late for the Lady Tigers with those 3 double-doubles in the last 4 games. And as I mentioned, the 4th of those 4, she had 9 rebounds against Frontenac. 2:02 to play. Lafayette back with the basketball. They've got it on the left side wing. Pass down low. Up and under shot is no good, but a foul. It looks like it's going to be on Fort Scott. And that one will go on J.C. Rogers, and that's number 2 on J.C. tonight. Nania with the free throw, misses the first one there. Rogers will come out as McElroy checks back in for the Lady Tigers here. Second free throw on the way. That one doesn't go. Rebound again, Comstock. Fort Scott gets it across the timeline to Gorman. Over to Rayleigh Cowan. Rayleigh out front. Now back to Gorman. Three-pointer on the way. Swish! Her second three on the night and a 4-point Lady Tiger lead here. Late first quarter. Layup there is good by Nania. She's breaking some rules on that, going on the left side of the basket with the right-handed layup, but she is making them for the Lancers. Pass goes into the corner. Three-pointer from Yark. That one rolls in there. Aubrey Yark. Man, it'd be great if Fort Scott could get on a roll from the three-point line. They have really struggled of late from beyond the arc as a team. They've got three so far here in the first, actually four. No, just three. Put one in the wrong spot there. Anyway, 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Ball goes into the corner for the Lancers. Golfo has it there. Brings it back around. Now into the hands of Archambault. Now a three-pointer from Golfo. That one goes. So she'll get her first points of the evening. And that'll cut it back to a 2-point game with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Pass. They get it to Cowan. She'll drive in. A lot of contact there and a late foul called, but a foul nonetheless. And it'll go on Nani, and I think that's her second. So Rayleigh will be at the free throw line. She misses the first. She's a 50% free throw shooter on the year for the Tigers. Misses the first there. A couple of subs here for the Lancers as they'll get Ellie Messer into the game. She's a 5'6" junior. Second free throw for Rayleigh is good. And Allie Brown will check back in for Fort Scott as Abby Gorman will come out for a quick breather. Kalski inbounds it. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Pass goes ahead to Hrdlicka. Now ball is loose in the middle of the floor. It goes out of bounds with 2 seconds to go. It'll be Fort Scott basketball. Mary Hales will check back in here quickly for Lafayette as Isabel Hrdlicka comes out. Quick inbounds play for Fort Scott. They'll try a half-court shot. It's going to be a little bit short there, so we'll go to the end of the first quarter with your score. Fort Scott 14 and Lafayette 11. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball on Duckbait TV. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. So to start the second quarter, looks like Fort Scott will have Abby Gorman, Allie Brown, Claire McElroy, Kylie Comstock, and Aubrey Yarrick to start the second quarter here for Fort Scott. Lady Tigers have that 3-point lead as we open the second period of play as well. Pass on the wing. They've got it to Hales. Now back it goes to Sugalski. And a pass there, a little bit of an overthrow, and that'll go out of bounds over to Fort Scott with 7:41 to go. Again, thanks for joining us. Just underway here in the second quarter this evening. There will be, for Fort Scott fans that are getting used to it now, there will be no shot clock this weekend. I'll tell you more about that as we move along here tonight. It's an experimentary rule. As a missed shot there from Kimberlin. I don't think I said that quite right, but anyway, Fort Scott grabs the rebound. The comeback down the other way. Gorman has it into the corner. Now back and inside to Comstock. Now back to Brown. They'll go inside to Gorman. Gorman dribbling around the trees in there. Now kicks it back out to McElroy. Claire drives in. Shot from the side. Goes for McElroy. Claire McElroy, who averages 4.5 points a game, gets her first bucket there. Drive-in shot off the glass and in for Sugalski. So that shot clock for folks that may be joining us for the first time here tonight, it is an exploratory rule in Kansas this year. Pass goes inside to Comstock and shot just a little bit too strong. Rebound comes down to the Lancers. Three-pointer on the way. A little bit too short. Rebound, Comstock. She got bumped there, got it to a teammate before traveling with it. And down the floor, Fort Scott comes. They get it to Yarrick in the corner. Now back to Brown on the wing. Pass inside, deflected away, stolen by the Lancers. It's Kimberlin coming down with it, and Brown's going to take it out of her hands. They're going to call a foul on Allie. So tough luck there, but they're going to say also no shot. So Allie Brown will pick up her first foul, and it'll be an inbound play here for the Lancers. J.C. Rogers will check back in. J.C. again with those two fouls. As Kylie Comstock will come out. A couple of games ago, she kind of tweaked an ankle. I think that was the Pittsburgh game early last week, or maybe late the week before. Drive to the bucket. Layup there is no good. Or excuse me, it is good. I believe that was Kavicic with the basket there. Cuts the lead back to one. Shot is good at the other end, and the foul. So Faith Zukalski picks up her first foul. Abby Gorman hits the bucket and the free throw. So an old-fashioned three-point play there. Fort Scott now back up by 4 at 19-15 with 5:32 to play. Here's a three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go, and it can go out of bounds back over to Fort Scott. So I'm trying to wrap up the shot clock deal for those who may be joining us for the first time tonight. It is an exploratory rule in Kansas this year. You can opt in or opt out, and most schools in Kansas have opted in based on who have opted in or opted out have done so based on their league. So for Fort Scott, their league has decided to have it as Aubrey Yarrick hits a three-pointer, so she's got 6 now, and Fort Scott starting to hit some of those shots. So Fort Scott will use that shot clock at all their home games this year and all their league road games this year. Frontenac, on the other hand, their league is a different league, and they have chosen not to do so this year, and so we don't have a shot clock this weekend, which is be kind of interesting going forward with some of these games. As the ball is deflected there at half court, Fort Scott able to get it back. McElroy over to Yarrick. She'll try another three-pointer. That one a little bit too strong, and it hit the backboard and went up and over. So back over to Lafayette, and we'll get a timeout called by Coach Stepp. So 4:42 to play here in the second quarter. Nice little run there for the Lady Tigers as they lead it 22-15. We'll take a short break and come right back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball on Duckbait TV. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need auto, home, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. So as we welcome you back, again, 4:42 to play here in the second quarter. The Fort Scott Lady Tigers trying to advance to the winner's bracket again this year here in the Frontenac tournament. I still call it the Four-State Raider Classic. I think they may have dropped the four-state part of that. Don't know that anybody from Arkansas is in the tournament this year. Got a few schools from Missouri, not just Lafayette, but Fairgrove on the boys' side is from Missouri. Also, the Blue Springs girls are here. Bartlesville from Oklahoma is here. Also, that's on the girls' side. On the boys' side, Putnam City from Oklahoma, and Owensville is from Missouri as well. And you forget about Nevada being from Missouri because they're so close, but Nevada's boys and girls are both here this week. And that's right, Webb City's boys are also here. It'll be interesting to see how the tournament pairs out this year on both the boys and girls side. Shot inside, that was a blocked shot by Fort Scott. Here's another scoop layup, that one doesn't go. Rebound taken by the Lady Tigers. And again, Comstock there to grab the rebound. Out to Gorman, she'll get it across the timeline. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half now. Fort Scott with the lead in the basketball. Pass goes inside, ball deflected. They'll say it was last touched by Lafayette, so Fort Scott will keep it. Rayleigh Cowan will check back in for the Lady Tigers with 3:45 to play in the second quarter, and Aubrey Yarrick will check out. So Cowan in for Yarrick here. And Allie Brown will inbound the basketball. She'll get it into McElroy out right side wing. Now over to Cowan. She'll try 3 or 2. Either way, it was a little bit short from the top of the key. Rebound comes down to the Lancers. I think the official was calling that a 2. Either way, it was a miss. And pass goes inside, and that's a shot good from Nania. And that'll cut the lead back to 5. Pass goes in, now back out to Brown. Three-pointer on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound chased down by Lafayette. They'll come back the other direction with it. Out to Zukalski. Now they go to the elbow. Back to Nania. She'll put one up there. Doesn't go. Rebound chased down by Cowan this time for Fort Scott. Out to McElroy. She'll bring it up the floor. Pass, deflected, stolen away by the Lancers. Cowan trying to get back on defense, nearly knocked that away. Pass goes inside, and the shot is good from Zukalski. So just as fast as Fort Scott was able to get that lead out, now it's back down to 3. Brown goes left side. Another long 2. That one doesn't go. Comstock with the offensive rebound. Put back just a little strong. Rebound taken by McElroy, though. She'll kick it back out to Brown. We got a whistle, and it looks like another foul on Lafayette. Foul's going to go on Kimberlin. Second team foul on the Lancers here in the quarter. And she'll come back, she'll come out as Kelly Archambault will check back in. Isabella Herdlicka is also back on the court for the Lancers. Ball deflected into backcourt. It's going to be chased down by Fort Scott. I think Gorman was waiting and making sure that she didn't touch it in the front court to make it a backcourt violation. And then when she did grab it there, she was fouled. Or maybe she wasn't fouled. Maybe it was a tie ball. So Fort Scott will retain possession here with 2:05 to play in the first half. It was a tie ball. They just changed the possession arrow after the inbounds play. Got a whistle and another foul here on the Lancers. So Addie Kipper, a 5'9" freshman, checking in for the first time tonight. Inbounds play to Gorman. Shot there, doesn't go. Rebound loose on the floor. And we'll have another tie ball. This time it'll go to Lafayette. 1:53 to play in the first half. Fort Scott again leading by 3. But the Lancers have the basketball. I will say, after working in Missouri for a few years, it does feel like, now maybe this is just my eyes, here's a three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go. Rebound loose, still loose on the floor. And now we got another tie-up and another Fort Scott possession. Possession arrow will go to Fort Scott here. So Fort Scott will get it in. But I worked in Nevada, Missouri for a few years, and it does, or at least to me anyway, it feels like the officials in Missouri call things a little bit rougher on average than the officials in Kansas. So some folks from Lafayette may be looking at this and saying, hey, why are you calling some of these fouls? Kansas tends to call it a little bit tighter overall, at least in my experience. So that's why some of these fouls, it looks like, are being called. There's a blocked shot by Fort Scott, taken by Gorman, and here come the Lady Tigers once again. Pass goes down to Gorman, now back out to Brown. Here's a three-pointer on the way. That one looks true, and it is. So Allie Brown buries that one, and that lead expands back to 6 here with 48 seconds to play. We got a whistle, and they'll get a double dribble here. Tiger fans, we're not going to want that to go unnoticed there. Fort Scott will inbound it from the sideline. They also get Lorelei Clark into the game, a 5'9" freshman. She will come in for Brown. Clark's got it out front. Clark just a freshman, but has played pretty well when she's been in there for Fort Scott in limited minutes. Now 25 seconds to go, and a steal by Lafayette. Ahead to Zukowski. She'll put one up, too strong off the back iron, but grab the rebound. Now they'll pull it back out. Three-pointer on the way. That went in and out, no good. And Comstock grabs another rebound for the Lady Tigers. 13 seconds on the game clock. Gorman brings it across the timeline. Over to Yarrick. 7 seconds. Back to Comstock. She'll try a three from the wing. That one too strong. Put back is in and out, no good. And rebound taken by the Lancers. And that will take us to the end of the first half with your score. Fort Scott 25, Lafayette 19. We'll take a break and come back and give you your halftime stats in just a moment. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball on Duckbait TV. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617.
Ready to turn your nails into a work of art? Hi, I'm Delena Beatty, nail tech and artist. I specialize in custom nail art as unique as you are. From vibrant designs to delicate details, I will do my best to bring your vision to life and make sure every set of nails tells your personal story. Get the perfect combination of style, quality, and fun with Nails by Delene at Spoiled Brat Salon in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Mark, Dave, Jolene, Manda, and Tyler are ready to greet you with a smile and help with whatever you may need. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need auto, home, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. If you're interested in helping us out at Duckbait Media, bringing more Tiger and Greyhound athletic events, become a sponsor today. Contact us at tonyabady@gmail.com, duckbaitmedia@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/duckbaitmedia. We're here to bring you the best of the Tigers and Hounds on youtube.com/duckbaittv. We will welcome you back into the old gym at Frontenac High School as we are at halftime of the girls' game here tonight. Fort Scott leading Lafayette by the score of 25-19. We'll take you through these scores, leading scores so far tonight. Abby Gorman leading all scores, and she has 13 for the Lady Tigers so far tonight. Aubrey Yarrick has 6. Also, Allie Brown with 3. Claire McElroy has 2. And Rayleigh Cowan has 1 here tonight in this one. For Lafayette, they are being led right now by Faith Zukalski, who has 7. Taylor Nania has 6. Maria Golfo has 3. Anna Kavizik has 2. And Mary Hales has 1 so far for the Lady Lancers. Fort Scott will see if they can get Kylie Comstock going. She is averaging 14.8 points per game and 9 rebounds per game. As I mentioned, she's had a double-double in 3 of the last 4 games that the Fort Scott Tigers have played. In the 4th of those 4, she had 17 points and 9 rebounds against Frontenac in just a regular season game. It wasn't here in this tournament. It was a couple of weeks ago, right after Christmas break. So see if she can get going. I don't have her for any points yet, but as we said, she can get going in a hurry, and she's already had several rebounds in this one for Fort Scott. Let's take a look at the brackets, as this is the final game on the girls' side here this evening. As we look at those brackets, again, the Fort Scott Lady Tigers, with a win, they will move over to the new gym and play Colgan tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If Lafayette comes back and gets the victory, then Fort Scott will play Nevada at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here in the old gym. So it'd be the same schedule today as it would be tomorrow if Fort Scott falls in this one. We had the boys playing at 4 and the girls at 8:30. Tomorrow would be flip-flop, the girls at 4 and the boys at 8:30. As that game is already set in stone, we'll talk to you about the boys bracket in just a few moments. But again, Fort Scott trying to get the victory here this evening, leading this one at the break by 6, 25-19. See the rest of the tournament there. Colgan's girls defeated Nevada's girls earlier tonight, 43-26, 43-28, if I can read my own page there. Colgan moved on to the winners bracket semifinals, and Nevada in the consolation there. Bartlesville, that game just finished up in the new gym right ahead of this one here between Fort Scott and Lafayette. Bartlesville defeated the host Frontenac Lady Raiders 62-40. It has been a tough year for the Frontenac Lady Raiders this year. That is a program that has historically been one of the best in Southeast Kansas in 2A many years ago, and now 3A in Kansas, as they've kind of reclassified some of the classes in the state. Frontenac's gotten a little bit bigger as well, but used to be way back in the day. They were 2A along with their arch rival Colgan, who's also in this tournament, oddly enough, this year. But they had some knockdown dragouts over the years, and but they have really struggled this year. We played them in a regular season game, boys and girls, just a regular night back a couple of weeks ago, and Fort Scott Lady Tigers won that game. Let's see if I can find that score here real quick. Fort Scott won that one over Frontenac 41-26, and so we'll see if the it's been a struggle for Frontenac. But anyway, they lost earlier, so they will take on Blue Springs, who was upset by Blue Valley Southwest in their first game tonight. So that game was in the old gym over here right after the Fort Scott boys played Putnam City earlier tonight. And so that game went 44-34. It was finishing up as we were getting back in the gym from going grabbing a little bit of dinner. But it was that's an upset. Blue Springs is usually pretty good. Their head coach is a former Frontenac Raider. Let me make sure I get the name right, because there's a few names it could be. I wrote this down. But yeah, Mark Spigarelli is the head coach of the Blue Springs Lady Wildcats. And if you know much about Frontenac or Southeast Kansas, that Spigarelli name has been around for a long time, and he loves to come down here and bring his Lady Wildcats down here. But they stumbled against Blue Valley Southwest earlier in this one, earlier this evening, as they lost 44-34. So in the opposite. In the semifinals, again, the winner of this game will play Colgan at 7 o'clock tomorrow night in the new gym. And then Bartlesville will take on Blue Valley Southwest at 4 o'clock to kick off things tomorrow afternoon in the new gym. Frontenac and Blue Springs will play at 7 o'clock here in the old gym tomorrow night. And then the loser of this game, Fort Scott and Lafayette, will take on Nevada at 4 o'clock in the old gym tomorrow evening. Looks like we're just about to get the second half underway here. So we'll get things switched up for that. And we are underway as Lafayette will have the basketball first here. And get it into the free throw line, and a shot by Golfo is good. That'll cut it back to 4 points here. Fort Scott able to break the press as Gorman brings it up the floor. Here's a three-pointer from Brown. That one just a hair too short. Rebound chased down by Lafayette. Looks like Fort Scott starters are out there. We got a whistle. It looks like a foul on Fort Scott. Abby Gorman, Allie Brown, Claire McElroy, Kylie Comstock, and J.C. Rogers, the five on the floor in white right now for Fort Scott. Foul's going to be on Allie Brown, her second. First one on Fort Scott here in the quarter. And it is Taylor Nani at the free throw line. She missed two earlier, misses that one there. Second one on the way is good. So that'll cut it back to a one-possession game at 25-22. Gorman brings it up the floor, stops the dribble over by the sideline, tries to get it to Brown. Now she's caught in the corner, tries to throw it across, and it's stolen by Lafayette. Here come the Lancers up the floor. They'll get it down to the baseline, drive in, ball loose now, picked up again by Golfo. Shot there doesn't go. Rebound chased down, though, by Kimberlin. Kimberlin back out to Golfo, deep wing on the right side. Now she'll bring it back to the top against this 2-3 zone defense. Pass back out to Nania. Drive across. Oh, picked off there by McElroy. So Claire getting a hand in the passing lane there. Ahead to Comstock, and a little bit too tall for Kylie that time. So it'll go out of bounds, back over to Lafayette. 6:26 to play in the third quarter. Fort Scott picking them up full court, a 2-2-1 press here. Lafayette will be able to break that press up to Zukalski, and she hits the shot there. Leading scorer for Lafayette. And now a steal on the inbounds play. Leading scorer in this game for Lafayette. There's a shot there, doesn't go. Rebound taken by Brown. So Fort Scott, or Lafayette, with a 5-0 run to start this third quarter. Gorman, she'll hit one there. That'll get Fort Scott on the board here in the quarter. And now we got a whistle. Looks like a timeout going to be taken. I think Lafayette called that one. 30-second timeout for the Lancers. It's 5:50 to go here in the third quarter. Addie Kipper back on the floor, has the ball now for the Lancers, and now it looks like another foul on Fort Scott. This may go on Allie Brown again.
Foul on the Tigers, number 10, Allie Brown.
It's the third one on Allie here tonight, so she'll come out.
The Tigers, number 24.
And Aubrey Yarrick will check in for her here. Fort Scott with a 3-point lead, but the Lancers with the basketball. Inbounds play goes to Sokolski, and the shot is no good. McElroy comes out of there with the rebound. Pass goes inside to Gorman, now back out to Yarrick. Back to Gorman in the corner. She's open for three. Too strong, or just off the rim there, no good. Rebound taken by Lafayette. Kimberlin brings it up the court. Now back left side it goes. So they work against this 2-3 zone defense from Fort Scott. We dip under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Three-pointer from Sukalski. In and out, no good. Rebound comes down to Comstock. Now back to Gorman. Into the corner, long two on the way. That one too long. Rebound on the backside by Yarrick, put back no good. And the Lafayette Lady Lancers come away with a rebound again. Kimberlin has it out front, now kicks it around. Get it to Hales on the right side wing. Now back to Kipper, back to Hales. Inside it goes to Golfo, and she'll lay it up and in. And that'll get us back to a 1-point game at 27-26. Three-pointer on the way. Doesn't go. Rebound chased down, and now Lafayette's got a one-on-one break here. Actually, 2-on-1. Oh. Like a double dribble that Golfo got away with there, but maybe she didn't dribble initially, but either way, the shot was missed, and Fort Scott grabs the rebound. Now they try to get a pass. The Lancers have done a great job at making it look like the lane is open for a pass, and then closing that lane up as they'll get a shot inside. I believe that was Kipper with the bucket. And the Lancers take the lead 28-27, and Fort Scott will take a timeout. 30-second timeout for Coach Steps and the Lady Tigers.
30-second timeout.
They'll have 2 left for the rest of the evening here. Fort Scott with just 3 points here in this third quarter so far. Excuse me, 2 points. They're being outscored 9-2 to start this third quarter. Fort Scott will get it in to Gorman here. Gorman, Brown, Rayleigh Cowan back out there for Fort Scott. Yarrick and Rogers on the floor right now for the Lady Tigers. Pass goes out, now back in, and it's stolen away as Annika Vizic is back in there for the Lancers. Comes away with that. Now we got a whistle here, and this may be a foul on Fort Scott again. It'll be the third one on the Lady Tigers this quarter. And that's the fourth one on Allie Brown, if my math is right. First free throw there from Zukowski is no good. So Kylie will check back in for Allie, and we'll see how long Allie stays on that bench with 3:02 to go here in the third quarter. With those 4 fouls. Second free throw no good. Rayleigh Cowan skies for the rebound on that one. The difference, Rayleigh was in the area too, and you don't really want to foul on anybody, but Rayleigh doesn't have any fouls right now, so that would have helped the Tigers out if they had called it on Rayleigh instead of Allie there. But anyway, here's another turnover for Fort Scott. Tie ball, and the possession arrow favors the Lady Tigers. They need to get some stuff going towards the basket here. Fort Scott was doing some very good things, especially in the second quarter there, making some shots, making some plays, but they have not responded very well, at least to the moment, to the Lancers' halftime adjustments. It's a shot there that doesn't go for Abby Gorman. Pass back to the top. It's going to go into backcourt. Rayleigh nearly had it, but it's chased back down by Kimberlin. Now ball deflected again, but the Lancers get it back again. Fort Scott doing some good things right now, but just not getting the luck that they would like to have at the moment. Pass to the elbow. Now back out. Three-pointer on the way. That one in and out, no good. Rebound taken by the Lancers. And a shot blocked by Fort Scott. Rayleigh comes out of there with it. I think that was blocked by Kylie. Yep, now a pass deflected out of bounds by Lafayette. So 1:49 to play in the third quarter. Inbounds play comes to Gorman. She'll work it into the lane. Now back out to Kylie. Kylie drives to the bucket. Shot blocked out of bounds. Inbounds play. It'll go off of the Lancers. Fort Scott, a little confusion there. Trying to get it inbounds. It was knocked out of bounds by Lafayette. Now Fort Scott gets it into Cowan. Now she's picked up her dribble, trying to find somebody to pass it to. Finally gets it to Comstock. 1:30 to play. Again, no shot clock, so Fort Scott doesn't have to worry about that. Three-pointer from Gorman goes down, though. That's her third of the ball game, and the Lady Tigers needed that. Fort Scott back on top by 2. Kimberlin with the basketball on the right side wing. Pass goes inside. A little scoop layup is No good, but I don't think it's going to – I think they're going to say the foul was on the floor. I think it's on Kylie.
Foul on the Tigers, number 25, Jason Rogers.
And that's the second time they've called a foul that looked like it could have been a shooting foul, but they've called it on the floor. So this will be an inbounds play.
Number 20, Claire McElroy.
That is the fourth team foul, though, so the next one on Fort Scott will put Lafayette in the bonus for the rest of the third quarter. 1:07 to play. Inbounds play comes into the corner. Now they get it back to Golfo. Ball, deflected around. Loose, picked up. Now they get – Gorman gets a hold of it. Ahead. Layup is – no good. And Coach Steps upset there wasn't a foul. Gorman came away holding her chin like she got popped in the head. Here's a shot up the floor. It's good by Rayleigh Cowan. Fort Scott starting to catch some fire here. 35 seconds to go. Fort Scott back on top by 4. Pass goes left side. Golfo has it. She'll get it across the timeline. Rayleigh Cowan, very good defensive player for the Lady Tigers. She can score some points too. She averages nearly 5 points a night. She's already got 3. Ball loose, now picked back up by Lafayette. Back out to Golfo. 10 seconds in the quarter. Excuse me, that's Kimberlin, not Golfo. Here's a three-pointer on the way. That one too short, rebounded by Comstock. They'll get it out to Gorman, and they'll run the clock out here. So Fort Scott, a little flurry there at the end of the third quarter, gets them a 4-point lead heading into the final 8 minutes of regulation. We'll take a quick break and come right back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball on Duckbait TV. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. So it'll be Lafayette ball to start the quarter. Now we got a whistle, and it looks like another Lafayette turnover. So the ball will go back to Fort Scott here. Fort Scott able to get it up the floor and across the timeline here. Lady Tigers have Rayleigh Cowan out there with Abby Gorman, Yarrick, Comstock, and Claire McElroy. Pass goes inside to Comstock. Shot there is good. Kylie finally gets a bucket. Leading scorer for the Lady Tigers, finally getting on the scoreboard here in this one tonight. Shot there, doesn't go. Rebound, Comstock. 6-point Lady Tiger lead. No, they get it into Kylie, and that one will fall. So quickly, 4 points for Kylie Comstock and the Lady Tigers, and a timeout taken by Lafayette. Full timeout taken by Lafayette. Lafayette opened the third quarter on a 9-2 run. Since then, it's been a 9-0 run for Fort Scott. And their lead has swelled back to 8. So out of the timeout, Cowan, Gorman, McElroy, Comstock, and Yarrick, the 5 on the floor in white for the Lady Tigers. Lafayette brings it up the floor. This is Archambault out there now. Kicks it over into the corner to Zukowski. Back to Archambault. Now we got a ball deflected out of bounds. I'll say it was last touched by Fort Scott. So Lafayette has it here with 6:32 to play. Again, the winner takes on Colgan tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The loser plays at 4 tomorrow afternoon against Nevada. Shot there, doesn't go. Rebound chased down by Lafayette. Now back out to Zukowski out front. Trying to get one inside. Shot blocked from behind by McElroy. Rebound Fort Scott. Here come the Lady Tigers. Gorman brings it up the floor. Pass, deflected. It was read there perfectly by Nania, and she's able to pick it off and come back the other way for the Lancers. Out to Zukowski, inside to Nania. Back to Zukowski, working that triangle there. Shot there, too short, rebound. No rebound, it just goes out of bounds. So Fort Scott will get it back with 5:51 to play in regulation. Substitution here for the Lancers as they will get Lila Kimberlin back on the floor. She replaces Archambault. Cowan will walk it up the floor. Again, some pressure here from Lafayette in backcourt, but Fort Scott able to break it. They get it up to Comstock. Turnaround shot there. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Lafayette. Fort Scott trying to chase it down, but can't get to it. And now the Lancers get across the timeline. And a travel is going to be called there on Lafayette. So the ball will go back to Fort Scott. Lady Tigers get it to Gorman there. Now up to Yarrick, 10-footer. In there. And that lead back out to 10 for the Lady Tigers. Three-pointer there, doesn't go. Putback is good, though. Mary Hales gets her first points, and another steal. Layup there is good. So 4 quick points for the Lancers. That time it was Nania. Fort Scott gets it across the timeline. Into the corner. Shot there is good. Aubrey Yarrick hits the bucket there. And a miss at the other end. We'll give Fort Scott the basketball back here. And a bad pass over there. Some good defense from Lafayette will steal the ball back to the Lancers. Oh, we got a whistle and a charge is called. Faith Zukalski will pick up that charge. It's the first foul in the fourth quarter on either team, and now Fort Scott, it looks like, will take a timeout. With 4:01 to play. So 4:01 left here in regulation. I say that. The boys had an overtime game last week against Coffeyville. And the Lancers will pick them up full court here. Looks like a 1-2-2 zone. Full court press. Brown back in there. They handle the ball for the Tigers. Remember, she's got 4 fouls, but she'll help get it across the timeline. Tried to get it up to Gora Cowan, and it's knocked away by the long arms of the Lancers there. So they'll come back down the court with it. Over to Zukowski. At the elbow, shot there, doesn't go. Might have been partially blocked, definitely rebounded by Comstock. Here come the Tigers, under 3.5 left. Cowan with the ball, right side wing. She'll go inside to Comstock, back over to Gorman. Now out to Brown, back to Cowan, back to Brown. Inside it goes to Comstock, shot there, doesn't go, but a foul. And there'll be free throws coming here for Kylie. She's been trying to get some of those fouls all night, and they finally get her one here. 3rd foul on Zukowski tonight. Kylie, a 54% free throw shooter, 53.6 to be exact. Misses the first, but she'll have a second one. Substitution is, I believe, Isabella Herdlicka has checked back in. Second free throw, that one doesn't go. Rebound comes off to Zukowski. Ball goes inside to Golfo. Now they go down to Nania. And now a steal. Fort Scott takes it away. 2:48 to play. Over to Yarrick in the corner. Pass. That one's going to be lost out of bounds by the Lady Tigers. Tried to get it back to Brown. He lost it out of bounds. Ball comes across the court here, and I think they got went out of bounds as well. So it'll go back over to Fort Scott. Looks like Claire McElroy checking back in for the Lady Tigers, as Rayleigh Cowan will check out. .221 left to go in regulation time in this one. Allie Brown working it up the floor. Brown kicks it over to Gorman. Now back to Allie. They'll get it into the corner. Trying to run a little bit of clock time here, and they can do that in this tournament with no shot clock this weekend. Here's the shot by Gorman. That one doesn't go, and a foul on the rebound. Who is the foul going to be on? Foul's going to be on Kylie Comstock, her second. First one on the Lady Tigers here in the fourth quarter. And Addie Kipper will check back in for the Lancers. Kipper out there with Kimberlin and Golfo, as well as Herdlicka and Zukowski. They get it to Zukowski. Shot blocked, but a foul going to be called on Fort Scott, and that might be the third one on Kylie Comstock. And it was a shooting foul, so Zukowski will go to the line. She missed her first two tonight. We'll see what she does with these two. Makes the first one here. Second free throw is also good. So that'll cut it back to a 6-point lead. Fort Scott got it up the floor and then lost it out of bounds. Tiger faithful wanting a foul called there. couple of Lancer fans look like they wanted to travel. Either way, it's out of bounds and back over to the Lancers. 1:39 to play. Three-pointer on the way, and that one goes. Hrdlicka. And all of a sudden, it's back to a three-point game. Fort Scott still out in front, but another turnover. Lady Tigers have not been able to deal with this pressure, and then a three-pointer that misses, and an easy rebound is lost out of bounds by Fort Scott. Claire McElroy not happy with herself there at all. And Coach Steps will call a timeout. I believe that's his final one. Unless I missed one somewhere. So it'll be Lancer ball out of the timeout. Fort Scott just trying to get to the finish line here. This Lancer team we've talked about the last 3 years. 2 years ago they went 4-23. Last year they were 6-21. This year coming in they're 7-6. All 3 years they've opened this tournament against the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott. Fort Scott won the previous two, trying to hold on here in this one tonight. Pass goes down to the elbow. Ball loose on the floor, and we're going to have a whistle, and they're going to call a foul before a tie ball. Nope, tie ball. Possession arrow will favor Fort Scott. 68 seconds to play. Now the Lady Tigers need to get it up the floor. Pass comes up the floor. They get it to Comstock. Now into the corner to Yarrick. Aubrey will try to get it across the court to Brown. Now over to McElroy. Inside it goes. Turnaround shot no good, but a foul. And that might be the fourth one. I think it is the fourth one on Zukowski. And Kylie will head to the line now. First one in and out, no good. Second one on the way, that one is good. So the lead back to 2 possessions now at 41-37, and the Lancers will take a timeout. So 47 seconds left to go in regulation. Fort Scott with a 4-point lead. It'll be Lancer ball coming out of the timeout. We'll see what Coach Hrdlicka draws up for his Lancer club. Fort Scott, you got to, I don't know that I would foul at this point. Of course, nobody is really that close to the bonus right now here in the fourth quarter. Lancers have 3 team fouls, Tigers only 2. We'll see what Fort Scott wants to do on defense here. The Lancers will inbound the ball, I think, from the sideline right next to the Tiger bench. In between the Tiger bench and the scorer's table over there. Pass goes to Kipper, right side wing. Now back to Zukowski. She'll fire from deep. That one doesn't go. Rebound, loose, still loose. Tie up, and the Lancers will get the ball back here. 33 seconds. Thing that does, though, is that means the next jump ball will be Fort Scott's ball with 33 seconds to play. Inbound. They'll get it. Oh, nearly stolen. Now they get it back to Zukowski. She'll try a three. Didn't need to, but it's no good. Rebound taken by Gorman, and now you got to make your free throws as they'll foul Gorman. Oh, that's right.
Foul on the Lancers, number 44, Faith Zukowski. And the Lancers are getting to 5.
And that is the 5th foul on Faith Zukowski, so she will foul out of this one here. And the next foul on the Lancers will put Fort Scott into the bonus, and there it is. Now they'll put Allie Brown at the free throw line. Made the first one. Five-point Lady Tiger lead. Second one is good as well. She'll come out offense for defense here as, again, she's got 4 fouls. And Fort Scott now with a 6-point lead. I didn't want to say anything going into those free throws. Allie Brown just 1 for 6 from the free throw line this season, but 2 huge ones there for the Lady Tigers. 18 seconds. Steal by Gorman. Up to McElroy, and they'll pull it back out. Over to Gorman. They're not fouling yet. 10 seconds. 9, 8. Oh, she was out of bounds. She was out of bounds twice. They didn't call anything. She was out of bounds because she got shoved, and now the clock will run out, and that will end the game. So Lafayette, kind of interesting there as they, I don't want to say they let the clock run out, but you would kind of assume that they would have kept fouling there to try to get a couple more possessions, but that's how this one ends up tonight as Fort Scott gets the win 43-37. We'll take our final break and come back and wrap things up. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball on Duckbait TV. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Mark, Dave, Jolene, Manda, and Tyler are ready to greet you with a smile and help with whatever you may need. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300.
Ready to turn your nails into a work of art? Hi, I'm Delana Beatty, nail tech and artist. I specialize in custom nail art as unique as you are. From vibrant designs to delicate details, I will do my best to bring your vision to life and make sure every set of nails tells your personal story. Get the perfect combination of style, quality, and fun with Nails by Delin at Spoiled Brat Salon in Fort Scott, Kansas.
If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need auto, home, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. If you're interested in helping us out at Duckbait Media, bring you more Tiger and Greyhound athletic events, become a sponsor today. Contact us at tonyabady@gmail.com, duckbaitmedia@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/duckbaitmedia. We're here to bring you the best of the Tigers and Hounds on youtube.com/duckbaittv. All right, as we welcome you back, the Fort Scott Lady Tigers get the victory here tonight. Your final score 43-37. As again, Fort Scott comes away victorious here this evening, and they will move on to face Colgan in the next round. Get those leading scores for you in just a second. Trying to update the bracket just real quick here. And again, Fort Scott with the win, 43-37, the final score here. Leading scorer tonight, Abby Gorman had 18 to lead all scores, 18 for the Lady Tigers there. Also, Aubrey Yarrick had 10. Kylie Comstock only had 5 this evening, so no double-double tonight. She was probably in double figures in rebounds, but just the 5 points there for Kylie, all of those coming in the fourth quarter. Allie Brown had 5 and stayed on the floor after getting that fourth foul midway through the third quarter. So good defense there from her without fouling. Rayleigh Cowan with 3 tonight for the Lady Tigers, and also Claire McElroy with 2. Lafayette, their scoring was a little bit more spread out. Faith Zukowski had 11 to lead the Lady Lancers tonight. Taylor Nania had 9. Maria Golfo ended up with 7. Isabella Herdlicka had 3. Mary Hales had 3. And Addie Kipper had 2. Also, Anna Kavizik had 2. So Fort Scott, they also had J.C. Rogers and Lorelei Clark in the game. They didn't score tonight, but they did get on the floor for the Lady Tigers. Lila Kimberlin, Kelly Archambault, and Ellie Messer all played but did not score for Lafayette this evening. So a lot of folks getting in the game for both teams here tonight as Fort Scott comes away with an impressive victory over the Lady Lancers here this evening. And it moves into the winner's bracket in this tournament. And now let's see if we can get the bracket pulled up here, if I can find where my stuff is. So there you go. Obviously, didn't get a chance to move the teams over, but Fort Scott will be playing Colgan. They're in that game tomorrow. So Fort Scott and Colgan at 7 o'clock in the new gym tomorrow evening as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers get the win here over Lafayette tonight. Lafayette will move on and face Nevada here in the old gym. That game will be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Also on the girls' side tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the new gym, you'll see Bartlesville and Blue Valley Southwest. Bartlesville defeated the host Frontenac Lady Raiders earlier tonight, and then also Blue Valley from Overland Park on the Kansas side. They got the big upset over Blue Springs on the girls' side. So they move on to the winner's bracket. They'll play at 4 o'clock in the new gym against Bartlesville out of Oklahoma. And then Blue Springs will face Frontenac at 7 o'clock tomorrow night right here in the old gym after that loss earlier today. And that was probably the biggest upset, if you want to call it that, on the girls' side tonight. Blue Valley with that 44-34 win over Blue Springs. But again, some big wins there for those teams. Let's take a look at the boys bracket here real quickly. We don't have a final yet from the Webb City Frontenac game. Just looked at their Webb City's Twitter. They're usually really good about updating things when games are over, but I haven't seen an update there, so I'm assuming that game is either not over or has not been over long enough to get that updated on their Twitter. So not sure who is moving which direction there at the top of the bracket on the boys' side. But, of course, Nevada's boys will play at 5:30 in the new gym after beating Owensville earlier today, 57-36. And then Fair Grove got the better of Colgan. A big third quarter from Fair Grove in that one as they take down the Colgan Panthers 64-36. And then, of course, the Fort Scott Tiger boys lost earlier today to Putnam City out of Oklahoma City, 71-32, the final score there. So Fair Grove and Putnam City will play at 8:30 tomorrow night in the new gym. Colgan and Fort Scott will play at 8:30 tomorrow night here in the old gym. So we've got kind of an interesting situation where the Colgan and Fort Scott girls will play at 7 o'clock in the old gym. 7 o'clock in the new gym. So Fort Scott and Colgan's girls will play at 7 o'clock in the new gym tomorrow night. And then right after that at 8:30, it'll be Fort Scott and Colgan's boys, but over here in the old gym. So it'll be kind of interesting. We'll see how things go with that tomorrow night. Hopefully they'll give us a little bit of a break on getting that Colgan-Fort Scott boys game started if need be. But we will do the girls game in its entirety tomorrow night. We'll tell you more about this tomorrow as well. But we'll do the girls game in its entirety tomorrow night and then get our tails over here as quickly as we can and get as much of the boys game here on our air tomorrow night as we can. That's just the way it goes sometimes with the playing in opposite gyms. We got lucky tonight. They were, first of all, spread out pretty well, and then also in the same gym. But tomorrow night, with them back-to-back in the same gym or in different gyms, it could be a little bit of a challenge. So we'll see how that goes. But, again, like I said, we'll get the girls' game in its entirety tomorrow night. That will start at 7 o'clock. We'll come on the air a little bit before 7 and then bring you that one tomorrow night. And then we'll come back over here to the old gym and get as much of the game. Hopefully we get the boys' game in its entirety tomorrow night. We will get as much of the boys' game as we can here. We'll try to get over here as quickly as we can once the girls' game concludes tomorrow night. But anyway, so that's the deal with that. Again, Fort Scott's boys losing here tonight, 71-32. The girls coming back and getting a nice win as they held on for the 43-37 victory over Lafayette. On the girls' side of the bracket, again, both Fort Scott teams will play Colgan tomorrow. The girls will play at 7 o'clock in the new gym, boys at 8:30 here in the old gym. So thanks again for joining us tonight. I did want to say if there's anybody watching from Lafayette, still watching at this point from Lafayette, I did want to say we are only doing the Fort Scott games. But if you're interested in the Lafayette girls game tomorrow, I don't know that Nevada will have a live stream of that game, but they will have a broadcast of that game that you can get on the internet. Our friend over there, Mike Harbit, at the radio station in Nevada, is very good about covering the Nevada Tigers and Lady Tigers, and they'll be in opposite gyms tomorrow as well, so it may be somebody else, but they will usually, it may not be Mike broadcasting the game, I'll put it that way, but they should have that game on the internet. KNEM-KNMO.com is the website there if you're interested in checking that out from Lafayette. If you're, again, I don't think it'll be a web stream because they don't usually do the web stream in the new gym or in the old gym here in Frontenac. But they should have the broadcast there, and you should be able to get it on the internet if you're interested from Lafayette and you can't make the trip from St. Louis all the way here to Frontenac. So anyway, thanks again for joining us as we close this one up. Again, the Fort Scott boys fall earlier tonight to Putnam City out of Oklahoma City, 71-32, the final score there. Lady Tigers get the win tonight, 43-37 over Lafayette out of St. Louis. And that's where we're at. Fort Scott and Colgan ×2 tomorrow night here from the Frontenac Raider Classic here in Frontenac, Kansas. Again, we know you have many options when watching the Fort Scott Tiger and Lady Tigers play, but thank you for joining us here on Duckbait TV tonight. From my dad on the camera, Willie Abatey, to all the Duckbaits back home, and to all of our viewers out there, thank you again for joining us and watching this production of Duckbait TV. Good night, Kansas.